Hey guys, thanks for joining. This is John from Friends of Your Benefits. Today, I'm going to tell you about a little insider scoop on how to get $100,000 in your investment account, tax-free, no gimmicks, and totally legal. All right, got my attention, John. What are you talking about? I am talking about a health savings account, also known as an HSA. What is an HSA? An HSA is really a savings and spending account that's ultimate purpose is to really help you pre-fund or out-of-pocket healthcare expenses, whether it's medical, dental, pharmacy, or vision. In terms of this account, there's a few things that are certainly worth noting. So any money that happens to go into this account is tax-free, can never be taxed by the IRS. Earnings in the account are tax-free. And any money that you use for qualified healthcare expenses are also tax-free. IRS, in order to have this plan, is going to put some requirements on you in order to be eligible. Number one, you need to be enrolled in a qualified high deductible health plan, also known as an HDHP, as defined by the IRS, which has some certain minimum deductible and out-of-pocket limits. In addition, you can't be covered by other non-HDHP, including spouse coverage, can't be on your parents' plan, can't be covered by Medicare, can't be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return, you can't have a general purpose FSA either, and you can't have a secondary non-HDHP plan that you're enrolled in as well. Let's take a look at what a typical HDHP offering with an HSA from your employer may look like. If we take a look, here we have the graph of what a general HDHP looks like. In terms of deductible, it's going to be a little bit higher than the IRS minimums. You're going to look at a deductible of being $1,600 a year for single, and then 2 times that, or $3,200 for family. In terms of the out-of-pocket maximum, it's going to actually be a bit lower than the IRS maximums that are required. You're going to see the out-of-pocket maximum be $3,500 for single, and then 2 times that, or $7,000 a year for family coverage. Generally, you'll see that the employer will put in $500 a year if you happen to enroll in single coverage, and $1,000 a year for family coverage to help you pre-fund your deductible expenses and also to accumulate savings in the account. In terms of the coinsurance, you're going to typically see the plan has an 80% coinsurance, meaning that once that $1,600 deductible is satisfied, let's say you're enrolled in single coverage, the plan will pay 80%, you'll pay the remaining 20%. Wanted to give you a visual example just in terms of how the HSA tax savings works. Mentioned before, the money that goes into the HSA is tax-free. So what does that mean? Give me something tangible, John. Any money that you or your employer puts into the HSA goes in on a pre-tax basis. So Uncle Sam is not going to tax you whatsoever for any money that comes out of your paycheck and goes into the HSA. Let's say you don't have an HDHP with an HSA from your employer, you decide to get one on your own, you still can contribute to the HSA. You just have to make an adjustment to your taxes at the end of the year. Your accountant can certainly fill you in on that. Mentioned before, the earnings in the HSA are tax-free. Great news there. And the money is tax-free that comes out for any qualified healthcare expenses. On the bottom here, we just have an example about how you can maximize the HSA. Let's assume here you're under 55. We'll start with single. So let's say the company puts in that $500 I mentioned before. You can put in an additional $3,150. So a total $3,650 would go into your account in 2022. You don't have to put that $3,150 in. That's just the maximum you could put in. In terms of family, so for this example, the family company contribution is double, so it's coming in at $1,000. If the company puts in $1,000, you could put in an additional $6,300 for a total of $7,300 that can go into your HSA. Okay. Mentioned before, we started off the video on how you can get $100,000 in your investment account, tax-free, totally legal. All right, John, tell me the secret sauce. What can we do here? Let's say for this example, you are enrolled in family coverage. In 2022, you have $7,300 that goes into your HSA. And then for each year beyond 2022, going out to 2031, you put in the maximum amount that is allowed by law, which is going to be the $7,300 plus some additional amount for inflation that the IRS determines each year. And then let's also assume that when the money goes into the HSA, you're investing it in either stocks, bonds, mutual funds, what have you. You put the money in. On average, you hit an 8% annual return. Follow the strategy, stock market, and your strategy in terms of investing goes exactly to plan. By 2031, you're going to have well over $100,000 in that account, and that's a ton of money. I'm sure many of you are going to figure out a way, I'm sure you're smarter than me, to beat this 8% average annual return assumption, but I'll leave all that fun stuff up to you. Well, hope you found this video to be useful, and this could be something that you can take a look at in the future to perhaps have your own HSA, and maybe some of you in the future will totally be able to beat my $100,000 strategy. And if you have a strategy on how to do that, we'd love to hear from you. As always, feel free to comment below. We encourage you to like the video. Feel free to click the bell, subscribe to our channel. If you have any ideas, comments, concerns, or you want to see us cover a future benefits segment, feel free to send us an email. Our email is friendswithyourbenefits@protonmail.com. Thanks for joining.